That means their interaction to that world changes. That's the product of raising people's consciousness, not raising their informativeness, not raising their knowledge level, because you can know a lot, know about a lot, but we want to raise their interactive state. We want to transform their perception so that they can engage in this universe differently. Because the different engagement in the universe brings about a different response. If you act towards it differently, you get something else out of it. How we have been acting at it as people, as Negroes. We have been acting at it as buffoons. We have been acting at it as fools. But when our consciousness is really tweaked and changed, then we begin to act towards it differently. And it begins to act towards us differently. Do you follow upon maker? We're going into universal law, the law of cause and effect. The energy that you put out, you get back. The law of compensation. These are universal laws that have nothing to do with race. Race relations is a dynamic that has been caused by how we have interacted through the universe. Whether we have did it in Africa or whether we are doing it today. However we interacted to the universe, that interaction became today what we call slavery. It became today what we call oppression. It became today what we call white supremacy. It's relative to our interaction. So all the information that we study and learn has only one purpose: to change our consciousness in a way where we interact differently with the universe, with the material world. That's the bottom line. And when we interact with the material world differently, we produce right there in the moment of interaction. In the moment of interaction, we produce the world we want to live in. All of us have work to do, including myself. I have to get my consciousness, King Noble, to a level where my interaction to the universe is the manifestation of the highest level of creation. Did y'all hear what I just said? And that is the purpose of studying the information. To keep tweaking our consciousness. And now this is something deep. It doesn't come by something that we learn by way of conclusion. I read this information and this is what I have concluded. It doesn't come that way. It's not a conclusiveness. It's a process. You know how they say that if you do something, stop doing something for 7 days, you change the habit and you won't do it anymore, whether it's stop smoking or whether it's any negative habit. If you stop for so many days, that you will automatically release the habit and you won't do that habit anymore. So that means the constant engagement in this information over time, not that we have come to a point where we have learned something, but through the constant engagement with devotion, we're tweaking our consciousness. We're still in the process of the evolution of our consciousness through the constant engagement. So we repetitiously do things. Because repetition brings about development. Any muscle you use over and over again gets stronger. But if we look at information as though we're trying to possess something and that we got the information, we don't know the dynamics of consciousness. We don't know the dynamics of creating our own consciousness to live in the world, to interact in a way that gets what we desire to manifest. This is heavy. So we're not watching this information because we want to learn something or that there's something that we don't know. It's a transformation process. Our consciousness is like a stream. It purifies itself. The water in the stream is is the thoughts that go through our mind. That's the water. And if you put enough dye in the water, right, then the stream changes colors. The dye is the information that we're constantly putting into the stream of our mind. We want to turn the stream of our mind black. So we constantly pouring in black dye. That's black information. So that we can live in a black world. But in the living it, you got to see it. You can go into one of them 3D movie theaters. But if you don't have the 3D goggles on, you don't see nothing. Because you need those three-dimensional goggles. You know, they're red. And you look through them and put them on, now you can see the movie in a way you never saw before. It looks like the damn movie's coming out at you. because of the goggles that